Hey guys, welcome back to Under the Radar Books. I am Brittany and today I'm going to be doing my BookBuddyAthon wrap up, and it ended yesterday at midnight, and so I'm just going to tell you guys what I read during the week. My partners were Rachel from The Reader and the Right and Chelsea from The Reading Outlaw. We had a really great time during this readathon. I didn't read as much as I had hoped just because I've been super busy. We are actually moving house, and so things have been crazy around here. I haven't had too much time to read or film, so anyways, but I did participate and I managed to read 3.5 books, so that's pretty good, I would say, with everything going on. So the first thing that I finished was actually Human Acts by Han Kang. This was the buddy read that we all read together, and this follows a variety of people who are involved in a student uprising in the 1980s in South Korea, and it's something that a lot of people don't know about, myself included, and so this was a very important book and a very strong book. It follows a middle school boy in the beginning of it and how he gets involved in helping to clean and prepare the bodies of the students that have been killed, and then also a spirit of a boy who has been killed, and then his mother, and just a variety of people. And I think that I don't know what to rate this, honestly. I gave it 4 stars initially, but I did have some issues with it because, first of all, I think it is more of a short story collection that has interweaving storylines rather than a novel. And also within each short story, there is it kind of jumps around in time period, and it's a little bit difficult to follow. It's very disjointed. So I felt like the first 2 stories were the strongest, and then as we went on, it became a little bit more confusing. And while it was very important and powerful as a read and as a whole, I felt like it lost some of its power throughout that part just because it felt so disjointed. I had to kind of re-evaluate every time I read a new part to try to remember who this person was, how they're related to this storyline, and things like that. So in the end, I gave this 4 stars just because I think it is really important and really powerful. I would still recommend that you pick it up, absolutely. But I still enjoyed The Vegetarian a lot more. So it was a really great book to discuss, and I'm so glad that Chelsea and Rachel and I were able to do that. So the next book that I read was for the category just picking up a book that you're in the mood for. And so I was feeling kind of slumpy and overwhelmed, and so I decided to read a graphic novel. And probably within the next couple weeks, you guys are going to be seeing my Kindle a lot more often. I will always post a picture of whatever book I have read on there just because a lot of my books are going to be packed up, and so I will be using this quite a lot. So the book that I checked out from my library on Overdrive on my Kindle was Everything is Teeth by Evie Wyld. And Evie Wyld has 2 other novels out, I believe, and both of them sound fantastic. I really want to get to them. But this graphic novel came highly recommended from Jen Campbell, and it just sounded like something that I would really, really enjoy. It follows a young girl who lives in England, and her family travel to Australia during the summer, and she becomes absolutely fascinated with sharks and shark attack victims, and she basically imagines that this shark is following her around all the time. And the artwork is so cool because it mixes this really cartoony kind of style. It's all in black and white with like actual photographs of sharks and sea creatures. So I really love that juxtaposition. I thought it was super entertaining. I loved every second of it. And I actually, when I finished it, I went back and started it again and read it again. So it follows this young girl, and it's almost like the shark is like this either depression or this fear that we all have that something's going to happen to us or happen to our family members. And I just found it really, really interesting, really powerful. There's so much to it for it being, you know, a short book and a graphic novel. So I can't recommend this enough. I gave it 5 stars. So please go check it out. It's really wonderful, and I want to own it in physical copy so that I can reread it whenever I want to. So the next book that I finished, this was The Trees by Ali Shaw, and it was to pick a book with your buddy's favorite color on it, and Rachel's favorite color is green, so I did that, and I was so disappointed by this. I'm really bummed because the concept is so cool, and I love this cover. It is so beautiful. It's this box, but I didn't even notice this at first, but he's made out of leaves, which is really cool. So I really wanted it to be a standout read for me, and it just wasn't. This follows a man named Adrian who his wife is working overseas in Ireland, and he doesn't work, he just sits at home, he doesn't really have anything that he's passionate about, he's trying to figure out where to take his life next. And in the middle of the night, these trees just sprout up from the ground everywhere at like a moment's notice, and people are killed during the process. Basically, society is completely shut down because the trees have destroyed technology, buildings, basically everyone's way of life is completely turned upside down. So it follows Adrian as well as a woman that he meets, Hannah, and her son Sebastian, as they are trying to travel to meet Hannah's brother Zach. And then after that, Adrian plans to go try to find his wife in Ireland. So it follows them on their travels and kind of people that they meet along the way, and just how humans react to tragedy. And the beginning was really strong. I was very invested, very interested, but I feel like it was just way too long. It really lost its steam, and it almost felt like Ali Shaw ran out of ideas, and it just totally plateaued in the middle, and I felt super bored and not wanting to pick it up at all. I feel like a lot of the parts were really cliched, and the characters started out really strong and being well developed, and then they just kind of like petered off, and I felt like the development just kind of lost its edge. So, I mean, the ending was interesting, which is good. You know, you want to have a good ending, but I just wasn't blown away by it, and I think I'd probably give it 2.5 to 3 stars. So I think maybe this might be one you could either just check out from your library or pick up a really cheap copy. I don't know if I would buy it full price. And this is the book that I am, well, a little bit more than halfway through, and it is The Red Parts by Maggie Nelson, and it's the autobiography of a trial. This is about Maggie's aunt, Jane, was actually murdered before she was born, and she grows up hearing about her aunt and hearing about this story and being really fascinated with the person that she was. And she originally wrote a poetry collection I think that was her first published work, I want to say, and it's called Jane. Jane, I think, is the poetry collection's name, which I actually really want to get my hands on. But she decided that once they were contacted by an investigator saying that the person they put away in jail for their aunt's murder actually isn't the one who murdered her, they found a new man who they believe is the criminal, then she decides to write this book, which is basically part autobiography, part coming of age, part true crime, and I'm finding it absolutely fascinating. And Maggie Nelson's writing is fantastic. It's beautiful, it's lyrical, it's just so engrossing as a story, and I can't recommend it enough. It is just really, really powerful, and obviously there are some very gruesome parts, take note of that, but I would definitely recommend it. I'm really excited to see what the end ends up being like. So definitely a really great read, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. So those are the books that I read for the BookBuddyAthon. I want to know if you guys participated as well and what you were able to finish. I'm really looking forward to watching everybody's videos and everyone's wrap-ups, and I can't wait to participate again next time. It was so much fun, and hopefully next time I'll be able to read a little bit more. So yeah, until next time, I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will see you soon. Thanks, and happy reading.